So he's obviously, I'm interested in the world outside. But you come from the recruitment back business, right? You must be also forward thinking about saying, what is the world outside the home? What does the world outside this school? What does the world, for Leo, the adult, look like? How do you
Yeah,
think
there's
about
so
that?
many different contexts with it. The world of work,
Sure.
accessing the local community, schooling, education. And as a parent, you think about all of it. But you're right, the world of work, particularly because I work
Yeah, of
within the
course.
world of recruitment, has been on my mind. And I think educating employers about neurodiversity, what it means, how you can be more inclusive to those with different conditions, both within the organisation and throughout your hiring process, for example. It's really important because I'm not talking about a small number of people either. It's estimated that 1 in 5 of us have some form of neurodivergence.
As many as 1 in 5.
Yeah, so, an organisation of just 50 people, 10 employees will have some kind of neurodivergence, whether it's dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADHD, the list goes on. So I think it's so important that employers are A, aware, and then B, ready to make any necessary reasonable adjustments that they may need to do to embrace those people.
And that's the interesting phrase you use, because, of course, what you're doing is you're making any adjustment, reasonable or not, as far as Leo's concerned, because Leo's your son, right? So you'll do whatever needs to get done. When you're talking with employers, help me with that a little bit, because the notion of reasonable adjustments is an interesting one, isn't it? So we can forget parental adaptations. We do whatever. What's your thinking about that? How can we help employers who want to be more inclusive? To your point, you've got 20% of the working community are likely to be in neurominorities. So, okay, so you might have very high functioning neurominorities, and I'm certainly tech is part of your space, isn't it? So I'm sure you're seeing a lot of that in tech and the data space and so on. But what can organizations do in order to make the sort of reasonable adjustments? Because they're not just going to be physical adjustments, are they? Some of them are going to be psychological and emotional adjustments. It's not just me saying, oh, well, we'll put in, I don't know, ergonomic chairs, or we'll put in, sound bar, or whatever it might be. But there are other adaptations they need to make as well.
There are so many things. And I think the important thing to remember is that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, because what might be a good adjustment for one person might be terrible for another.
This is important, yeah, this is important.
But talking about the psychological element there, putting things like an end date to an application for a job is really important for someone that gets anxious about change, or anxious about
It's such an interesting thought, yeah.
A simple thing like that could make all the difference for someone that gets anxiety around what's going to happen next.
Just understanding just having the process stepped out.
Just having
Isn't
the
that
process stepped out, being really
fascinating?
clear with what's going to happen, who you're going to meet at interview, where you're going to meet them, how long it's going to take, and then don't put surprises on that person. Don't change things without plenty of advanced warning or, notice. Things like that I think are really important and really simple to do.
And that's interesting, because so and here's a challenge, and you'll know this from your world, right? I always think to myself that the real enemy of inclusion is pace. So when you've got organizations that are running hot, they're running at high speed all the time, then pace seems to me to beget thoughtlessness. And inclusion requires you to be thoughtful, right?